Hi folks, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and welcome to this look back at December on the Say Hi Paul YouTube channel. So the first game we're going to talk about is a game in the series of the War of the Ten Legions. So this is a clash between the Night Lords and the Black Legion in the Eye of Terror. Once they're meeting together for commerce to exchange goods for information, but one side is trying to pull a fast one on the other. And let's just say negotiations break down and violence ensues. It was a really cool game. I really enjoyed playing this one. It was a reasonable size army. I think it was 100 power each, if I remember rightly. It was a little while ago, so I apologise if I'm a little flaky on the detail. But the thing I really liked about it was it's very marine heavy. Because this was supposed to be a parley, neither side has bought lots of heavy equipment. So it really is a marine on marine slugfest. It used the open war cards, which are a lot of fun. They are definitely my preferred way of gaming at the moment. But one of the things that was really cool about it is, as you can probably see in some of the pictures, lines of sight are really, really restricted. So it sort of ended up breaking down into a few individual skirmishes that then flowed into each other, which was really cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was a lot of fun to do. And that game is available, or was released to the channel members in the, what I like to call the Members Lounge, level 2 channel members. So this next one went up on public YouTube, and it was a scenario in the series The Day the Great Rift Opened, and effectively tells the story of what happened to a Mechanicus Forge that found itself in the, Adeptus Mechanicus Forge that found itself in the path of the Great Rift as and when it opened. It was an interesting scenario. It's one of the scenarios from the main rulebook, one of the 3 open play ones, which effectively consists of one objective in the middle of the table, and the armies start very close to each other, and whoever controls the nearest objective is the winner. So basically, they're trying to defend their forge whilst they can prepare something below. I won't spoil the... I can't tell you the whole narrative now because I spend half an hour outside reading battle reports talking about the narrative, because this would go on forever if I did that. It was an interesting scenario. It was very fast. A lot happened in turn 1 because the army started quite so close to each other. But it's one I've wanted to do for quite a while, and it was a lot of good fun, and there were some interesting events. Yep, interesting. Okay, so this next one was one for channel members. It's another episode in the series Turning the Tide of the War, which is where the Eldar of Craftworld Ulthwé are trying to influence the direction of a large war that is building in on an unremembered planet. And their intention is to point this war at the forces of the Ruinous Powers and make some good use of it. This particular scenario, I think it was about a 1,500 point game, I think, or it might have been power. I'm not sure. But that's obviously very informative to you. It was a custom scenario. It was based on what the Eldar have to do is they have to lead 2 groups of orcs to each other and let them have a lot of fun together, having a good old scrap, which means that an Evil Sun's war boss and a Bad Moon mech will become friends. Do orcs have friends? Will become allies. Acquaintances. They'll know each other. They'll have a good scrap together, and that'll galvanise them together as part of the same tribe. It's another piece in the puzzle of how to make the orcs head in the direction that the Eldar want. So what the Eldar are trying to do is they have a large well, I say large, it's about 700-800 points of Evil Sun's orcs in tow. They're just about outpacing them, and they are going to sort of fly them into these Bad Moon and Death Skull orcs, and then try to survive long enough for them to have a good scrap and get to know each other, get to socialise. These orcs are not socially distant. They want to know each other. And that will have the desired result. Or that's one of the pieces in the puzzle of how to get these orcs to do what they want them to. It is it open war cards? It is open war cards, I think. It could be anything. No, it's open war cards. And it's there are objectives on the board. I remember that much. You can probably infer more from these pictures, but it was a lot of fun to do because as an Eldar player, having to stay close to the orcs to get them to have a fight rather than shooting them from a long way away and running off is a challenge, especially when you are intentionally sandwiching yourself between orcs you're running towards and orcs that are following you. So it was an interesting one. I had absolutely no idea how the game was going to go, and there were lots of surprises. Strange stuff happened. Some very orky things, some very Eldari things. It was good, that one. I enjoyed that a lot. Now, this next game was on public YouTube, and it was a long time coming. It's part of the series We Have Come For You, the ongoing fight over Archimedes 9 between the Fulminators Primaris chapter and the 53rd Talon Night Lords. I've been holding on from doing this one because I wanted to get a whole load of the new stuff painted for the Fulminators, and I wanted to do a lot of new units for my Night Lords, but other things got in the way. So I thought, right, I'm just going to do it with what I've got, because it was the follow up to the previous couple of episodes where the Night Lords had gone to ground, and the Fulminators were trying to root them out. And the net result is that the Night Lords have started landing their heavy armour, but the Fulminators were about to launch an ambush. We used the ambush scenario from the rule book, which is kind of a cool scenario. As the attacker, you have to make a choice as to whether you take the initiative and attack with a small number of units to sort of get an alpha strike in on your opponent, and then the rest of your units come in later, or whether you surrender the initiative to your opponent, who now knows you're there, but you can attack with your full force. And it's one of these missions where you get to surround your opponent, and there were a lot of different choices that could be made, but it's fundamentally Night Lords slugging it out with Primaris Marines. And the first time I got to use a whole bunch of my Night Lord units, and 100 power. I think it was 100 power. It was an interesting scenario. It was interesting. The tactics on both sides were interesting. I won't spoil the outcome. I just want to talk about the outcome, but I won't. I won't spoil it. It's worth watching that one if you haven't seen it, and you like Night Lords, That was fun. Now, this next one is also one that the members got to see. It is available in the members area. So we return to the ongoing war in the Eye of Terror between the Traitor Legions, and in this scenario, it's the Black Legion versus the World Eaters, and the Black Legion have been trying to court a Khorne Demon Prince to join them for a long time, but they've been frustrated by his loyalty to his warband. So what they've decided to do is kill the warband. What could possibly go wrong, right? So it's about 1,000 points. It's open war cards, it's a bloodbath, as you would expect any army, any game involving the word bearers. I found it really interesting when I play these to really try and get into the mindset of the armies involved. The word bearer general, sorry, not word bearers, world eaters. Did I say word bearers? World eaters. Getting into the mindset of a world eater general. You have a plan, you know what all your units are going to do, you start to execute it, then as soon as you get vaguely near the enemy, they just all yell blood for the blood god and start clubbing things to death with their bolters. Whereas the Black Legion is much more malevolent, much more cunning, more planned. Yes, draw them in, now. And I love the contrast between the two. Ironically, I think I only used about 2 square feet of the table for most of that game because, I was really pleased with the table as well, and I used like a quarter of it. No. Then you look at the table afterwards, you think, could I reuse the table or something else? No, the art does not permit it. That was good fun. 1,000 points, that one was, give or take. And then this one, the last one of 2020, was another one for members. It's an episode from the day the Great Rift opened, and the misfortune that fell upon an Iron Warrior warband who did not heed the call from Abaddon to assault the Gate of Cadia, but they decided they were going to go and plunder real space somewhere else. And they're in the middle of ransacking an Imperial world when all of a sudden the Great Rift opens and they are plunged into warp space. Their shipmaster quickly raises the Gellerfields on the ship to keep out the Neverborn, but many had already materialized, and the few legionaries left on board had to race to the engine room and try and save the engines from destruction, because these Neverborn, they're not just mindless, they have an element of understanding, and they know that by destroying whatever these things are in the ship, that they will be stranded here, and they will be able to feast upon them for a prolonged period of time. So this was it's Iron Warriors versus Chaos Demons. The mission was one of the narrative missions called Sabotage, and effectively there are 4 objectives, each one an engine, and the Iron Warriors have to defend them, and the demons have to destroy them. Difficult territory for Iron Warriors because it's on their ship. The tanks were all down on the planet, so no tanks. And the demons aren't really their bag. So they were most definitely on the back foot, out of their comfort zone. They were not the things they wanted to be fighting. But the Neverborn materialized in their vessel and started to lay waste to their engine room. So whether it's their preference or not, they had to defend it. And that was a 1,000-point game. I think that was a 1,000-point game. Power, but equivalent thereof. I keep thinking back at all of them and thinking about how fun they were. That was a lot of fun to play as well. A lot of demons materializing from the warp. A lot of Iron Warriors refusing to die and being massively belligerent. Good fun. Great days. Well, thank you all for watching this retrospective of December on the channel. I had a lot of fun filming it all. And thank you very, very much to all my channel members who are making this all possible, making this worthwhile. If you're not already a channel member and you'd like to be, please check out the links to channel memberships in the description below. If you want to see the battle reports, the one you want is level 2. So, time to finish the blatant advert for my own stuff, and it remains to say, stay safe, everyone. I hope you've had a good Christmas and New Year so far as you can, even though it's going to be very, very different this year. It has been very, very different this year. And look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.